Chris Gelser here with
Briar Rabbit.
Take Your Time. This week on the first run, we checked out Matthew Vaughn's James Bond-ish thing, Kingsman, The Secret Service. Are we going to revitalize now the spy action film? People have complaining that the Bond series, Dave, is not just too borny, but also just lacking in excess, right? It's just not big enough anymore. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if maybe Matthew Vaughn's able to do something with that. We'll tell you what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD featuring Dave's streaming pick of the week. And then it's going to be, what do you think, Dave? Yeah, let's go ahead and do TFR Libs, everybody's favorite fill-in-the-blank game. But before we jump into all that reasonable amount of fun, let's hear a clip.
Let's not go overboard. Don't sell it too hard, Chris.
That's right. So let's hear a clip from the Kingsman, The Secret Service.
Huge IQ, great performance at school, but you gave up. Drugs, petty crime. You never had a job. It set you on a certain path, but you needn't stay on it.
Who are you? The man who got you released.
I've never met a tailor before, but I know you ain't one.
Come with me. What do you see? I see a young man with potential. Pull the hook on your left.
Oh, yes. Very nice. What does this do? Electrocute you?
Don't be ridiculous. It's a hand grenade.
Shut up. That is sick.
We are an independent international intelligence agency operating at the highest level of discretion. The Kingsman agents are the new knights.
You are about to embark on the most dangerous job interview in the world.
Felt sorry for the boy, did you? He will find this humiliating.
He's as much Kingsman material as any of them.
We're here to enhance your skills, test you to the limit. We need to solve problems under pressure, like what to do when one of your group has no parachute.
Interested?
So, Dave, that was a trailer for Kingsman, The Secret Service, the latest film from Matthew Vaughn, who brought us Layer Cake, Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class. So now he's back. He has a story about his stars Colin Firth, right, as Secret Agent Galahad. They're all named after different Knights of the Round Table, and they have to fill in a hole. They need a new recruit. So he pulls up this young kid who's, not from the wrong side of the tracks, gets into some trouble, and the first half of the film is them training and getting him up to snuff and getting him ready. And the second half of the film is them taking on the bad guy played by Sam Jackson. Some, I'm assuming, world domination type plan. At least that's the way it used to be in the good old days, right? So Dave, I'll ask you, this is how I'm going to describe this movie with you in one phrase, and then you tell me what you think. This is a James Bond film via Kick-Ass.
That works. That description works for me. I would just say not a very good James Bond movie.
But
one of the,
you've got the big,
one of the more lackluster James Bond movies.
But you've got the mountain hideaway,
Yeah,
lair.
totally. Like especially Samuel L. Jackson's character. He just feels like a 1960s era Bond villain. Just a mastermind, crazed lunatic who's just bent on doing something stupid.
I don't know. I think his plan has merit.
Yeah, I mean, you would.
I think that Vaughn definitely has a very specific style, and I've really started to get it now. I mean, I think at this point it's just over the top, cartoonish characters, action up the wazoo. I mean, the thing is, this falls into the category of just turn your brain off and enjoy the ride type of films. All right, it at times is excessively dumb, and other times it's actually very clever, and very smart and funny. It's more, I think, it's just as much of a spoof of the Bond films as it is maybe an homage. It is crude and almost winningly offensive at times. I don't know. I'm torn because there are parts of this film I really enjoyed, and other parts I didn't care for, and I don't know why that is.
I felt the same.
I can't put my finger on it.
I had high hopes for this movie, and I got to say I was pretty let down. There were, like you said, there were parts of this movie that I really enjoyed, and for the most part, it was the clever stuff, the stuff that kind of like there was a little dinner conversation between Colin Firth and Samuel L. Jackson where they basically just kind of explain the plot of the movie,
right?
And it was clever and it was funny, and like they served McDonald's for dinner, and it's like a nice little joke, like that kind of stuff I loved. But everything that had to do with the training of this younger kid, I was stupendously bored. I felt like this movie couldn't get out of its own way during those scenes.
Really?
I was never sold by it. I never felt like this kid had anything going for him. He was just this bland presence on the screen, whereas every time Colin Firth showed up, I was like, yes, all right, show more Colin Firth.
Listen, first off, the kid knows parkour. So... You can't tell me that he's totally bland. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I enjoyed the training session stuff. I thought that was interesting and kind of fun. I will agree with you that casting Colin Firth in this was an inspired idea.
Yeah.
Because he's not that guy. He's not who you think of for this type of film. And he nails it perfectly. And in fact, I think his character also has an outcome that it's the only thing that really makes sense, especially considering what happens to him. I think it's something that kind of had to happen, the way his character arc turns. We don't want to give away too much.
No.
But, I don't know, like if I had to grade it, I think I'd probably give this thing like a B+, just for the enjoyment factor. Any issues I had with it, I feel like I'm kind of able to stuff down and just enjoy. I definitely think I'd like to see a sequel. I think I would. I don't know.
Not
There's
me.
just enough in there to keep it going.
There was enough in there for me to watch this movie.
That's it.
But with the results of the movie, I don't want to discuss the ending or what happens to any of the characters, but there's basically nothing that's keeping me there for a second movie. Like they kind of ended that line of thinking. Like I said, there was a lot of fun stuff in this movie, but it was too spread out. There was it wasn't just this constant some of the stupid stuff was so stupid that it was groan worthy. Some of the really clever stuff was so clever that it really got me excited, but it wasn't consistent, and it never kind of, I don't know. My biggest problem has got to be the kid. I think, who's the name of the actor who played the kid? Taron Egerton? Is that his name?
Sure.
Okay,
yes.
So that I never could get into his character. I just never bought him. I thought some of the ideas for the training sequences were clever, but I never cared about him as a person, as a character. I just never cared. And that, if you don't care about one of the two main characters of a movie, you got a real problem.
I don't agree with you. I thought he did a fine job. I totally I had no issues with him in this role. I didn't think he was miscast. I didn't think he was bland. I enjoyed him. I thought he was fine. I thought he depicted the rough childhood growing up that he had. I had no issues with his performance. I wasn't blown away by it. I didn't find it spectacular or that particularly interesting, but I thought it was fine. I really have the issue you had with it.
Yeah. Well,
what do you think about? Go ahead.
When you're surrounded by real actors like Colin Firth and Samuel L. Jackson, these guys are established actors, and they kind of,
right.
Samuel L. Jackson, it was funny because he was kind of playing this over-the-top character, which you're used to seeing him do, but it was a little bit different than what he's normally doing, and I liked him in this. But it got to the point where it was repetitive with Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, and I felt like it was a joke. It was like a Saturday Night Live skit that had one joke in it and went on too long. That's Samuel L. Jackson's kind of whole character in this.
Well, that was going to be my question, what you thought of Sam Jackson in the film. Yeah, I think they went too much with trying to kind of do a takeoff of the Bond villain, and it just wasn't as successful as maybe they were hoping it was going to be. I thought it was fine. I was wondering if the lisp thing was going to get to me after a while. but it was fine. I still am not quite understand the decision to do that. But whatever, whatever. It's Sam, right? You can do what he wants. I wonder about that too. If that was Sam's creation, if he said, what if I played this maniacally psychotic guy with a lisp? What do you think? And then he dressed him in really garish colors all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the character. They could have done something more with it. They could have given him a bit more depth. I think that would have helped. At least it wasn't the Sam Jackson character. Like yelling and swearing Sam Jackson character.
That's a good point. Yeah, he stayed away from Sam Jackson, the caricature, the person. And,
the snakes on a plane character.
That's right. That's true.
But yeah, Colin Firth was really cool in this movie. It was fun seeing him in this role. But for the most part, it was a truly forgettable movie.
So what are you going to tell the kids at home? I'm curious.
I'd wait for this one to come out on like Netflix or something.
I was bemoaning the fact that I couldn't see this on an IMAX screen. I was really hoping I was going to be able to do that, but because I like big bombastic type films like that to do something like that. But alas, no. They were doing The Seventh Son and that Wachowski film still, Jupiter Ascending. So, but I would say see it in the theater. I think it's that much fun. And if your choice is this or Hot Tub Time Machine 2 this weekend, I don't think you have much of a decision to make. But don't watch it with your mom. There's a few inappropriate jokes, and the Princess of Sweden has an interesting ending herself.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. The whole show was just that one joke I was hoping to get in there. So if you've had a chance to see Kingsman: The Secret Service, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. Dave, let's shift right away into our Blu-ray and DVD picks. This is what's coming up on February 24th. Big Hero 6. It's your chance to pick this up to watch with the kids. If you get it at Best Buy, Dave, you get a lenticular cover. You know, the one where you move it and the picture changes?
Yeah, the best technology from 1980s baseball cards can be yours today.
That's exactly right. Target, if you get it from them, there's a steelbook. Walmart has a bonus DVD, which includes The Science of, which I'm not quite sure what, the science of Betamax. I don't know. It includes the Feast theatrical short, which I thought was really good and is up for an Academy Award this year. Some deleted scenes, an Easter egg, and some Blu-ray exclusive stuff like gag and animatics, and some other stuff. A film that I'm desperate to see, Whiplash, is being released, and you can stream it right now on iTunes. Includes audio commentary by the writer-director as well as J.K. Simmons, who's up for an Academy Award. And there's a deleted scene that's exclusive to the Blu-ray and the original short film that the movie's based on. You can see with the Blu-ray. Horrible Bosses 2, a film we were able to dodge, is released. It includes a theatrical and the extended cut and a bunch of features with that. New to Blu-ray, Fellini's Satricon is being released by Criterion. It's Fellini's weird, remarkable, controversial, extremely loose adaptation of The Reign of Nero. It's supposed to be really disturbing and filled with lots of violence and sex and lots of other weird stuff. So you can pick that up if you're a Fellini fan. Also, Dave, Criterion is giving us Watership Down. Remember Watership Down when you were a kid?
No.
The animated movie with the rabbits and they kill each other?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That one scarred me when I was a kid. Well, it's coming up on Blu-ray from Criterion with a new interview with the director as well as an appreciation for the film by Guillermo del Toro. And we know we all love him around here. And a bunch of other stuff, so you can check that out. A movie I've already bought. I have pre-ordered it. It'll be in the mail soon. Is Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. I think his best film from 1981. Dave, The Beyond is a wonderfully odd film. It's about a woman who buys and tries to renovate an old hotel in, I think, Louisiana. And what happens is one of the doors in the hotel opens up a gateway to hell. So it's really weird.
Ain't that a bitch?
It's weird. It's very gory. It's got a couple really disturbing death scenes that'll stay with you. But one of my favorite things is that there's a scene where this couple's being chased by zombies, and this guy's got a revolver, and they're in an elevator trying to escape, and he's loading the revolver by dropping the bullets down the barrel, which I think is how that works. So watch for that scene. If you buy it, you get it's a 2-disc set, well, 3-disc set, I'd say, because one of the discs is the original CD soundtrack, so you can check that out. And then God Told Me To, American Gigolo, 52 Pickup, White Orchid, I think it's supposed to be Wild Orchid, Eat, Drink, Man, Woman, and then the horror classic Black Sunday, all being released on Blu-ray for the first time. Dave, your straight-to-DVD pick of the week. I struggled with this one. I'm going to give you 2 titles. You tell me which one you want. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Tater City, City of Cannibals, or Bikini Avengers.
Oh, man, I didn't think you could follow up Tater City with anything. I got to go with Tater City, though. I mean, come on, Tater City.
There you go. Good choice. I was probably going to do this one either way, no matter what you ask, because I love the write-up of this thing. The futuristic metropolis of Tater City is managed by the Authority, a dictatorship that rules with an iron fist. Utilizing a special radio wave system called Zeed, bear with me, the Authority is able to distinguish criminals from law-abiding citizens. However, these special radio waves will also alter the demented brainwaves of the criminals and force them to commit suicide in horrible ways. A special police force called the Bikers then retrieve their corpses, deliver them to massive slaughterhouses that supply the mega fast food chains with the human flesh products that are needed to feed the hungry masses. The Authority's hand has managed to keep the citizens under control for quite some time, but a series of unforeseen chaotic events has slowly been undermining their rule. Follow along with the adventures of 3 crazy biker officers who are charged with restoring order before their entire world crumbles around them.
Yes, please. Sign me up.
I like though that it's like they all control everybody and everybody with radio waves, and then there's a whole group of people who sell corpses to McDonald's. So what should we be streaming this weekend?
Okay, so The Verdict, starring Paul Newman, was recently released on Netflix. Have you ever seen The Verdict?
I love The Verdict.
This is a great movie. Okay, so a washed-up ambulance-chasing attorney gets a chance at redemption when his friend tosses him an open and shut medical malpractice case. But instead of accepting an easy cash settlement, he takes the powerful defendant to court. This is one of Paul Newman's best movies. It's on Netflix right now. For some reason, it's really hard to get a good Paul Newman movie on Netflix. So I highly recommend checking this one out.
Yeah. It is fantastic, and I think The Hustler's on Netflix too, because I just watched it like a month ago.
Right.
So if you haven't seen that, that's another good one. No, but I love The Verdict. I think Paul Newman won an Academy Award for that film as well.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think. I'm fairly confident. Not Oscars pick confident. I can't wait to wipe the floor with your ass with that on Monday. Sunday night, baby, it's coming up, and when our next show, we'll talk about it. I got to email you though. I'm gonna email you my list so you know I don't cheat. All right, Dave. So let's transition into the big final segment for the show, which is TFR Libs. It's our fill-in-the-blanks game. I always like this one a lot, and we don't do this one entirely enough. So, Dave, why don't I'll start us off, so you get the ultimate last one. No, I have 4 of them, though, so
I got 3, so why don't you start it off?
All right, so, Dave, Neil Blomkamp directing an Aliens film. It's official. As of, like, yesterday or today, it's official. Neil Blomkamp directing the next Aliens film is blank.
Damn, this is the same exact question I have for you. I think it's really exciting. Neil Blomkamp, he takes a different view on certain aspects of genres that you've seen plenty of times. So I can't wait to see this. The art that he released on his Twitter account was really cool as well. So I don't know what this movie's gonna be. Like, are they gonna just like interrupt the kind of continuum that we already know about? Is this gonna be years in the future? I don't know what this movie's gonna be, but I'm actually really looking forward to it. I hope it's not a reboot. That's the only thing. I just don't want it to be a reboot.
Last week when we had Matt Howell on the show, he said that the plan was roughly to pretend like Alien 3 and 4 never happened.
Okay.
And it kind of picks up from 2. They'd bring Michael Biehn back. I mean, if that's what happens, I'm telling you, then my answer is fantastic. I could not wait to see what he's going to do. Like we said last week, we talked a little bit about it, but it wasn't official then. Now it is. What he does with violence and carnage, I mean, Blomkamp he's a savant, I think, with that stuff. And I can't wait to see what he would come up with for this. So I'm very excited, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this too. I really like the Alien series. It's kind of one of those near and dear ones to my heart, and to see that there's another one coming in Neil Blomkamp's hands just makes me excited.
Mm-hmm.
All right, blank should be the next Indiana Jones. So we know that there's an Indiana Jones 5 movie kind of in the works, right?
Yep.
Who's it going to be? Who should it be?
I think Chris Pratt would do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I think. It's not something I want to see happen. I don't want these films touched. I don't think it's...
You don't want to see another Indiana Jones movie? The first 3 were so good.
I'm good. I'm good with those 3 films, and that's it. And never seeing another Indiana... I'm fine with that. I can treasure those films forever. They're already kind of time capsules of their period, so you don't have to worry about updating them. That's the other thing. Are they going to be updated? Because if Indiana Jones is fighting the Taliban, I'm telling you, I'm not going to care. I want him fighting Nazis.
Yeah. They're the ultimate evil. They're the best bad guys to fight that you could possibly hope for.
Well, that's what I'm worried, though, that this thing's going to be like a reboot in modern day. Would you want to see that?
No.
The answer's no, Dave. It is no.
I want to see...
So if it has to happen, I want it to be somebody I like, which I guess will be Chris Pratt. I guess.
Yeah, I can see Chris Pratt doing a good Indiana Jones. He did a good Han Solo.
He was a good Princess Leia on that Saturday Night Live episode, too. So, what do you think?
I think Chris Pratt is a solid choice. That's who I would choose as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Not McConaughey?
No.
All right. Because you hate talent. Dave, Marvel deliberately sabotaging the Fantastic Four in order to get it back under its own banner is blank.
Wait, what? They're doing this? Are they actually doing this?
They're canceling the comic books. And they're doing like no personal promotion of the film through Marvel because they want to get control because they license them out to Fox.
Smart. It's smart. Fox has made 2 terrible Fantastic Four movies. This next one, I just watched the trailer for it today, and it looks bad. Like, there's nothing in that trailer that gets me excited for that movie. In the Fantastic Four, if you just bring them into the Marvel universe that kind of Marvel has going, that could be cool. That could be fun. But what Fox is doing with that franchise is bad. So whatever Marvel has to do, I say do it.
Yeah, we'll see how this film does. I mean, if it tanks, maybe 20th Century Fox will abandon its rights. I don't think they'll ever give up the rights for the X-Men if they don't have to. And I like that they finally worked out that Spider-Man thing, but what do I think? Deliberately sabotaging the FF? I don't know if I want to say it's smart. Part of me wants to say it's petty. You licensed it out, suck it up. But it was also at a time when Marvel was almost bankrupt and they were desperate for cash.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
God, how their fortunes have changed, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. So I will say deviously clever that they're willing to tank one of their own franchise comic series just to get their hands back on the rights again for the movies.
Yeah.
I say deviously.
Who's reading that comic book compared to who's watching the movies, though? The amount of money they're making off the movies is like infinite compared to what they're making off of comic books these days.
True. So what do you got for me?
What's my next one? I forgot. Oh, 50 Shades of Grey is the biggest February debut in history. This makes you feel blank.
Nonplussed.
Don't care?
No, it's. I don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, it had a massive buildup. Mm-hmm. I'm curious. I didn't check it, but for the next week, I wonder how badly the box office dropped. Did it drop 80%? 75%? I bet you it was a big drop. It had a big buildup, and all the ladies were all excited about it. From what I've heard, it's not that good a film. So I'm indifferent. I don't think it's a harbinger of anything. I don't think we're going to see a whole bunch of trashy smut novels now adapted to the big screen to capitalize on this. I don't think it's not a catalyst to anything. So no deal. No, nothing. Nonplussed.
It makes me feel like Liam Neeson needs to get involved. He is Mr. February, and 50 Shades of Grey just stole his thunder.
Well, he's got a
It
movie
is
coming
time.
up in a couple
I know,
weeks, right?
He does. He does. And it looks kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I'd like to see a particular set of skills applied to Mr. Grey.
Hashtag not my Christian. Dave, did you see the Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary special?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, they made a big deal out of Eddie Murphy coming back to SNL for the first time in a long time. So Chris Rock comes out and does this whole thing praising Eddie Murphy, and deservedly so. And then Eddie comes out, basically says, thanks, the show meant a lot to me. It's good to see everybody again. Thanks for watching. That was it. That's pretty much it.
You didn't do anything funny?
No. I don't know if he's incapable of being funny at this point. I think he's just surrounded by a bunch of people who tell him all the time how funny he is, or say, yeah, Pluto Nash, that's a great script. You should do that. So it's revealed that he was asked to be in the Celebrity Jeopardy clip, the sketch that they did. And now you didn't see it. You should watch it. It is hilarious. They do a video daily double, which I'm now spoiling one of the funniest parts. With potent potables. And they have a guy come out to describe what his favorite cocktail is. And it's Bill Cosby. So everybody, they freak out. They're like, no, we recorded that in June. We apologize. So anyway, they asked Eddie to do that. And he said no. And it went to one of the other actors. So Dave, Eddie Murphy just saying thanks and bowing out to playing Bill Cosby in that sketch is blank.
It's sad. Like, man, Eddie Murphy used to be like the funniest guy, period. Like when he was doing Saturday Night Live, when he was doing Raw, when he was doing like, what was it? Delirious was the other one. Like he was unbelievably funny. He was probably the most popular comedian in America at a time. And he has just made this change that he just doesn't seem to care anymore. Maybe he just got so rich that he doesn't care. Like if he didn't want to be part of like the celebration, why did he even go? It just makes me sad because I just love old Eddie Murphy. You know, like he was a brilliant comedian.
Yeah, my response is disappointing.
Yeah.
I think it could have been clever. I think it would have been hilarious. If Eddie did that, it would have made that sketch even 10 times better. And nothing. So it's just disappointing. I don't know if he'll get it back. He's supposedly wants to do another Beverly Hills Cop film. I don't know if that's going to do it. Who the hell knows at this point? Whatever. Do you have any other ones?
No, that was all three of mine.
All right, I got one more for you. Ready? I guess it's going to hit this year, officially. HBO Go offering its own streaming service, independent of having to have cable package.
Yeah.
HBO offering a streaming service will blank cable.
Scare. Yeah.
You can expand upon that.
Yeah, I'll go scare cable. It's not going to like end cable, right? There's still plenty of people who are going to have cable subscriptions. I think there will be a few outliers whose like last remaining thing was HBO. Like everything else they wanted to watch was available on Hulu, Netflix, like all the streaming services.
Yeah.
Amazon. There were a few people I think that, said, yeah, I still want to watch HBO. I still want to watch Game of Thrones. I still want to watch those HBO series. But I don't think it's going to be like a tidal wave.
You don't think it's the last straw?
No, I don't. I think the last straw is going to be ESPN or like sports. If sports start getting streamed live, that's going to be it for cable. Everybody's just going to like walk away.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think HBO Go offering a streaming service will, I think at least it's scare cable. I think so. I think that's it. I think I would agree with that term too. I can't come up with a better one. I agree. I think the last linchpin is sports. Now you can stream certain things. Like you can have the MLB package and stream out of market games, which is intensely stupid. You should be able to just stream whatever the broadcast thing is. You insert
with commercials.
And you're in. I don't understand what the problem is with any of that stuff. So, but I think that is it. Once sports comes on, because that's basically what's holding me back at this point. You can watch or stream everything. The other thing, too, is when you have to compile all the services you need to watch all the shows you want, you're almost at now your basic cable package. So what the hell's the point? You got to pay $10 for Netflix, $10 or $8 for Hulu. Amazon's $80 a year. PlayStation Network's going to have stuff. You know, when you get into all of that, and then I think another key to this thing is going to be the net neutrality fight. If we lose that thing, and they can do the super highways and charge more for certain access to certain things, I think that may stop a lot of the streaming stuff almost in its tracks, because they could charge you double if you want to have high quality streaming video. You know, who knows? That's one of my big concerns with that too.
The problem isn't that these services are so good; it's that cable is so bad. You know what I mean? It's you know, it wasn't that long ago where I was paying $160 a month just to have cable, you know, and the reason I had to pay so much was because there were a few channels that I really did want to watch, but they weren't on any of like the lower price packages. So even though there was probably 5 or 6 channels that I really liked and that I watched consistently, they were spread out among all these different packages, and it just like it was add-on on add-on on add-on. If I wanted to watch, you know, my favorite baseball team in HD, that was one of the higher tier packages. If I wanted to watch HBO, gotta, you know, pay you gotta get the higher tier package. Then you also gotta pay for HBO.
Right.
You know, it was just ridiculous. And then so when I switched over to just be in streaming, it's like, yeah, I lost out on live sports. I lost out on live local news, which actually is, I think, worse than losing sports. But I mean, I save so much money every month that I can get over it.
Yeah. And then if you get the antenna, you get all your local channels. You just basically lose the convenience of watching them at, you know, via DVR. And then you have stuff like the Slingbox or whatever. You can actually now record, you know, your broadcast over the air or channel stuff now too. They have everything. So
yeah,
it's just putting in the investment. That's TFR Libs, kids. I'd have to say, I don't know, Dave. It wasn't that funny. We'll have to work on that. We'll do better next time. We'll do better next time.
You said that last time.
Well, each episode we're going to do better.
All right.
It's the American dream. So we're going to take a break. Next week we're going to talk about The Guest, because we don't want to go see Hot Tub Time Machine 2. You know, it's weird too, because when I saw the cast of that, I was like, you know what? If they just let those guys go nuts and do whatever they want to do, I would see that film. I like all the actors that are in that movie. But no, I can wait for Netflix. Maybe. I can wait for Netflix for that.
Yeah.
So we're going to skip it. We got to wait for some big stuff that's coming up. Anyway, check us out. Look us up on YouTube, on Friendster. We're on Facebook. I think our MySpace page is still out there. It's archived. Twitter. Do a search for The First Run. Dave, what's going on the Briar Rabbit channel on YouTube?
You know, I've been killing my teammates and making videos about it. That's been fun.
Nice.
Nothing. You know, my descriptions on videos are actually apologies now.
Nice.
I've given up on trying to be a nice guy. I've just embraced the asshole.
Why start now? Good for you. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. That's the big show this week. And hopefully we'll have some more guests next week, get back in the swing of all that stuff as we slowly ease into the spring and then hopefully the big summer blockbuster season. So we'll take an extended break, and we'll see you guys all in a week.
See you next week.
Oh, some weird story that Emily told me about room 36.
Emily? Who's Emily?
The blind girl that lives in the old house by the crossroads.